What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Say hello to everybody. Thank Aiden, Bill, Dr. Jan, Derek, who hides by John Taylor, Melanie, Max. What's up, guys?
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
All right, so we're going to get started right now. I'm super excited about this today. I think this is something I could have really utilized early on, but this all comes from experience dealing with different markets, different timing. So let's get started. So time management and creating routine. What does that look like for everyone? It's different, right? Look, you don't know how to manage something that you have no control over, right? So you get texts and calls at all hours, you get emails at all hours, you get last minute fire drills to collect documents to close loans, and then you get last minute meeting requests. So like, how the heck do you manage something that you don't know when you're going to be blindsided? And this is a struggle that I've always had. But I think after we watch this presentation, hopefully you can all see the value of what this brings and also how to implement all the things that we're going to talk about into your career and life. So you have to win before 7 a.m. You have to set your non-negotiables. I think COVID taught us that we have a lot more time than we really realize between not commuting back and forth to an office, not really doing all these unnecessary in-person meetings. So, I'm a big believer that the earlier you wake up, the earlier you get a start to your day, the more you can control what goes on. So if you want to get to the gym first thing, do that. If you want to eat breakfast, not be bothered first thing, do that. If you miss breakfast now because, you have kids running around or you just get up late, you find yourself behind the 8 ball, you got to get up earlier. So you have to figure out what those non-negotiables look like. If you want to take a workout class at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, set that as your non-negotiable. For many years, I had softball that I played Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all different hours of the workday, and that broke up my day nicely. And those were my non-negotiables. And in between each inning, each pitch, I would come, check my email, reply to text, and then get back to people as necessary. But that allowed me to have a better quality of life and be much happier because I wasn't feeling like I was, locked down or handcuffed to my desk or to my business and my career, from waking up in the morning to going to bed at night. So having that sense of freedom is really valuable moving forward. And I want everyone to figure out at least 3 things per week that you are not going to negotiate, whether that's, working out at 6 a.m. Monday and Thursday, whether that's going to see a movie at 4 p.m. every Wednesday, whether it's taking your kid, if you have a kid, for ice cream at noon every Tuesday. Figure these things out when everyone else is working and tied to a desk and a phone. Create this sense of freedom for yourself, because those 1 or 2 or 3 things that you implement will make you feel like you have the most freedom in the world. And that's the main goal of this, right? So you need to win before 7 a.m., but also set your non-negotiables for fun, for excitement, for you time. That's during the working day. Anything and everything can wait 1 hour for 2 or 3 hours a week. Next, you got to set the skeleton of your day every day, but it doesn't mean you have to actually follow this, right? What I mean by this, these are your placeholders, okay? So have the intention of working out between 6 and 7 a.m. You might not do it every day, but at least this is what you want to aim to achieve. Now, I made this, obviously, again, as a mock-up skeleton for everybody. This is what I find best for my routine in my life. But again, it's not for everybody. And some days it changes, but the more days per week that you follow your routine and your skeleton routine, the more success you're going to have, because that way your brain's not wondering what every day is going to look like. So again, from 6 to 7 a.m., have that as like workout or like mindfulness meditation or just waking up and taking an hour shower. I don't care what you do, but at least know every day, what your backup option is going to be. Right? So from 7 to 7:30, maybe that's your breakfast, maybe that's your downtime, maybe that's where you're catching up on emails, 8 to 11. I deem this as like the computer admin work. What I mean by that is you're kind of entering the red zone, if you will, for the day, right? Like a lot of stuff from 8 to 11 is catching up from what's gone on in the past 24 hours, fielding new calls and inquiries, and also setting up maybe some goals and what you don't want to do, right? Maybe you don't want to have to, constantly do a pipeline review of your loans and process, but that falls under your responsibility. So during this time frame, maybe once or twice a week, you incorporate different days to do different things, right? But I always believe from 8 to 11, as I'm sitting here right now in front of 3 computers and 2 cell phones. I'm here, I'm available, I'm open and ready for business. I'm open to handle anything that I can't do from being on the road, having lunch, and meeting people, right? This then sets the tone for the rest of the day. Now, 11 to 1, I'm not saying you do this every day, but having lunch with a referral source, a referral partner, a past client, somebody you want to get business from, a prospect, or even have lunch by yourself from 11 to 1 every day, utilize this time to regroup from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. So whatever you went through for the prior 3 hours, this is your time to let your hair down, have a bite to eat something healthy, have a refreshing drink, and just relax and catch up to then set yourself up for the remaining portion of the day. So after lunch, carry forward that momentum of that meeting, that excitement, that joy, that now I'm back in the game, and hit the street. You're re-energized, go meet people, go shake hands, get into the field so you can go out and get more business. Now, when you come back home, depending on where you are, let's just say 5 p.m., because on the East Coast, it gets dark out, it's very dark out. From 5 to 9, you're half checked in, you're half checked out, or if your phone rings, great. If client calls, answer. Clients work usually 9 to 5, so they're available 5 to 9. So if you make yourself available 5 to 9, you'll be able to handle a lot of those inquiries, help maybe get some more paperwork in, log into your clients, bank accounts, print out their bank statements, verify all their deposits, right? You can do pre-approvals, and now you're wrapping up the day, right? Now, 9 to 10 is like an unwind, relax, throw on a good show, a movie, meditate, unwind from the day. Now, this isn't saying that you're not going to be constantly thinking about work or even getting texts, up to 10:30 and 11, but, pick and choose where those people are able to access you. So maybe put your phone on do not disturb if you don't want to be disturbed, or reply at your own convenience. I know me personally, there's nothing worse than laying in bed at 10:30 and getting a text from someone you really don't want to deal with at 10:30. Oppositely, if you have your phone on do not disturb, you don't even know that phone goes off. When you choose to look at your phone, then you can engage in that message. I got a text last night about a $400,000 fix and flip deal, which we do, from a very good client and realtor. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry to bother you this late." And I replied immediately because I was still mentally checked into work, right? So yourself, listen to your mind, listen to your body, figure out what works best for you. Some days you might check out earlier, and that's fine. Some days you might go till midnight. That's fine too. But you need to control when you're available. You need to control when people have access to you. All right. So make sure you understand that. I want everyone to set your own ideal skeleton up of your day. So in that way, you can control the narrative. You control your career, not somebody else. Now, how do you prioritize your to-do list, right? This is part of, creating your routine and part of time management. This is what I love doing. You need to focus on what's hot now, right? You also need to make the most amount of money now, right? So that means that, you need to put out the fires first, whatever's hot and burning and needs to close quickly, and the clients that are most engaged and the realtors that have their accepted offers or contracts or even potentially asking you to save a deal, get on those now. Whatever can be done within 5 minutes, I always do first, because a to-do list is based on how many items are on the to-do list. So from an accomplishment standpoint, if you try and do the item that takes the most amount of time, by the time you're done with that item, if it takes 2 hours, you're like, holy crap, I only just checked off 1 item on my to-do list. Whereas if you have 5 items that take 5 minutes or less each, you can knock off, 5 or 6 to-do items in 30 minutes. Now you just accomplished a large chunk of that to-do list. And I think people often try and tackle the biggest problem that takes the longest amount of time first. I believe the opposite from a mental standpoint is the absolute most beneficial. So you got to figure out what's urgent and how do I do these urgent tasks first, and keep knocking off those urgent tasks. Again, a lot of people like to waste time. Everything's urgent to everybody in the moment, but not in the long run. Hey, I really need to get this offer in. I need to get this pre-approval done. I need to do it now. And then you drop everything, you do it, and it's like, we really don't want to put an offer in on this property. Now you just spun your wheels, you raised your energy levels up, you delivered, but then the people are like, it's really not that important to us. So understand who you're dealing with, understand if the urgency is actually there, or if it's just an initial spike in urgency, and you could put it off and wait. I'm a big believer in whatever can be done tomorrow, try and accomplish today, but it's okay to do it at your own pace, unless it's an immediate fire. Hit list. Like, how do you figure out, what's really on your hit list? Loans needing to close within 7 days, they are on my hit list, top notch, top attention. I don't care if it's a $50,000 loan or an $18 million loan, they still get the same attention because I want to knock that off my list, right? And I think you guys should do the same. If a loan's closing in March, right, it's really not, there's nothing urgent there, right? You can't expedite the timeline. It's closing in March. So why are you going to stress yourself out every day for the next 30, 40 days when it can wait till March? Maybe you put that on the back burner till next week. And this is kind of how you manage your time. So when you have that dead time, when you need to write that letter of explanation, or you need to collect updated pay stubs and bank statements, but if you go into February, you're going to request them again, wait till February to request January and December bank statements, for example, or the 2 most recent pay stubs. There's no reason to constantly follow up on a loan that's not closing from now until 2 calendar months from now. So the more you manage your pipeline, the more you're going to be able to manage your mental well-being, which in this business, you need to be as close to 100% as possible all day, every day. And as the day goes on, you're going to be subtracting from that 100. So don't unnecessarily subtract from that 100. Try and look for places to add to that 100. Now, a brand new client that's referred to you, that's hot. You want to get that pre-approval into their hands immediately right now. I don't care if you have 17 other things going on, if your 3-year-old's hanging on your leg, if your grandmother's calling you, or your mother's breaking your chops over what do you want to eat tonight for dinner, they can all wait, okay? You need to get into that client's mind and communication immediately, okay? If you don't, they're on Zillow, they're on LendingTree, they're on wherever the heck they want to be. They're calling their ex-girlfriend up, asking them who they use to get a mortgage. You need to get to them. You need to engage them. You need to text them. You need to call them and email them immediately, okay? You don't have to pre-approve them immediately. Let them know exactly what to expect, exactly what they need to get you, and schedule a time to get the pre-approval completed, okay? That can wait, but the response time cannot wait because they are going to go somewhere else, all right? Returning a referral source's call, text, and email, you need to know the referral source. Again, hey, I just showed this client a property. I need them pre-approved right away. Next thing you know, you're calling them 5 times and people are like, hey, we're at work until 6 o'clock. So pick and choose, get back to everybody as quickly as possible, but pick and choose, again, what you choose to drop everything for and what you choose to properly manage and schedule and wait for. If you're busy, it's okay to text back immediately. Hey, I'll reply to you shortly. But if you need an emergency, let me know so I could drop everything for you. It's okay to ask someone, is this time sensitive? Not everything needs to be done right now, and people need to create that buffer to manage your time accordingly. Now, prospecting needs to come last unless you have no deals or a few deals in your pipeline. Everyone's worried about where the next deal is coming from. I get it. Whether you have 2 deals or 200 deals, everyone wants more and more and more and more. That's the business, right? But, handling internal stuff is equally as important. Handling your marketing and your branding is equally as important. New prospecting will come, but in today's digital age, you can do that with a post on all your social media channels and hit thousands and thousands and thousands of people without having to get in your car, drive around, hopefully see people, and really not work efficiently. So in today's day and age, time management, you can accomplish more with a social media post, a proper social media post with the right content, than you can with wasting your time trying to find people to meet in person in today's market. Now, the last minute, can you save my deal? You need to drop absolutely everything. I don't care what's going on. If somebody ever gives you the opportunity to save a deal for them, if another lender drops the ball, if someone's not getting back to somebody, whatever the case is, these are the most important deals where not only can you make a lot of money on, but you're gonna look like a hero. If somebody gives you the opportunity to potentially be the hero, you need to be the hero. Being a hero, okay, and getting deals closed or saving deals is how I made a name for myself in my career at 22 years old, okay? You guys can all do the same, but you need to drop everything and treat this deal like if you don't get this deal done in 2 hours, if not sooner, then you're going to fail. Be the hero. If somebody gives you that chance, you got to be the hero. Now, expectations. If you want to be successful early on in your career within the first 4 years, within the first 4 years, depending on market conditions and market volatility, all these outside external factors, you need to put your business first. I don't care if you're a husband, wife, mother, brother, sister, cousin, father, it doesn't matter, okay? At the end of the day, you need to always be available and always be accessible and be overly responsive. I'm only asking 4 years of this, all right? You could choose what you do after that, but you're building your foundation. So if you want to be successful and compete against all the other 20, 30, 40,000 people that do what you do, this is the easiest, most free way to get ahead, right? You need to respect yourself and your time, but understand that you are making investments into your career. And time is the best investment you can make into something. And anything that comes from it is a 100% return on investment. Your time, only you can tell what your time is worth, okay? So myself personally, I deem my hour worth anywhere from $275 to $400 an hour, depending on the amount of work, all right? So there's 24 hours in a day. Obviously, you have to sleep. Obviously, you have to have downtime, quality time, family time, personal time, all this stuff. But if you work 10 hours a day, for example, and you deem yourself to be worth $100 an hour, that means that you need to make $5,000 a week or $20,000 a month. Now, that's not going to come immediately, but in year 4, in year 5, right, depending on what you value yourself at, you should be making $1,000 a day, $5,000 a week, or $20,000 a month. And to get to those numbers, we're not talking about making $1 million a day. We're talking about really achievable numbers for a respectable career. But understand that for the next 4 years or next 2 years, you're putting all of your time and energy in. You're sacrificing your time, investing in your career to then see dividends for the rest of your life. And I can't tell you how many loan officers I coach that I tell them to be accessible and available, and I'll text them or email them or call them, and they take hours to get back to me, right? And I get it, people are busy, but if you're taking hours to get back to me, that means you're ignoring calls from referral sources, you're not getting back to clients, and you're costing yourself deals. So if you work 10 hours hard, then you disappear for 12 hours, you might as well not even work the 10 hours. So keep that in mind. Your time right now, you need to invest your time to receive your financial benefits down the road. Now, if you're a parent, and I've learned this is all taught, without income, you can't support your family. Work has to come first and foremost, especially if you're the main provider. However, your children's special events should not be missed. It's okay to come home late, but you need to make up for that by maybe taking the morning off or coming home early to, again, take your child to see a movie. Special out of the blue adventures are the best. So do not be afraid to take an afternoon off or a morning off to go to, the diner with your kid or do something fun that your kid loves to do, because you can come home late. You cannot see your kid during the week for two weeks straight, right? But if you want to take your son or daughter to see Spider-Man in New York City at 2:00 on a Tuesday, do that. If you have a business meeting with Goldman Sachs that their average client has $63 million with them, bring your kid to that meeting. You know why? Because your kid wants to know what you do. Your kid's going to see what they do. They might say, you know what? Daddy, mommy goes to work and it's cool. I want to do that. I want to go with them. I want to learn from them. Don't keep them hidden from your career. Engage them and bring them into your world. Bring them into your career. So when you come home late, they know that you were working and they're going to respect you even more from that. But if you keep them separate and external from what you do during the day, they're going to resent you. They're not going to be happy with you. And you know what? They're going to find someone to take your place. And that's not what you want. You want to show them what hard work looks like and also the rewards that come with it. So when everyone else's mommy and daddy is working 9 to 5, coming home pissed off, miserable, complaining about money, it's 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and you're at Madame Tussauds or whatever's exhibit, messing around with Black Panther and Spider-Man, because you could do that while your phone's still on, you're still texting, emailing, and calling people, you're still working, but you're showing your kid early the value of hard work and the rewards that come along with it. Remember, there's no perfect time management system. There's no perfect routine. Both will change as you and your career evolve. You need to prioritize what is most important to you. Don't lose sight of your goals and stay focused. So We went over, again, a good amount of stuff to set the foundation for your time management and your career, right? For your routine. But at the end of the day, you control it. But you need to pick out, again, what your non-negotiables are, what's most important to you, and figure out how you put out these fires first and how you delegate your time, and also what you value your time at. So if you don't value your time, no one's going to value your time. When you start valuing your time, you start prioritizing your time in a much more efficient, cost-effective manner. I put this on here. This is not me selling anything. I don't care if anybody signs up for this, uses this. I did this during COVID because I had nothing else to do. I was getting bored. I have a training course. I geared it towards realtors to be able to market it and give it towards realtors. It also goes with my book called The Realtor's Cookbook, which I give to realtors for free. But I put together a course, a preliminary course. The preliminary course is free. It's basically how to bounce back, build the proper foundation coming out of COVID. It's all personal stuff. It's nothing business related. And then the actual course, it's a paid course, tells you how to go out there, develop your business, build your business. So you can go to vannotvt.com. Again, I built it as a loan officer. It's everything that I did as a loan officer, but I flipped it and basically geared it towards realtors, as I said. So it's not a course for realtors only. It's a course for anybody in sales. It talks about 57 different ways to go out there and get business, which is also what my book teaches, but the book is more of like a coffee table book, right? There's a code in there I put just for this. It's my podcast code. You get 20% off. You don't have to buy it. I'm not telling you to buy it, but if you're looking for real interactive coaching with the ability to scale or offer your referral partners, feel free to use this code. Check it out. There's 100% of my heart put into this, and I promise you it works. This is also, and I'll send this out to everybody, just how the course looks. It's a full video. I'm not going to play the video. I'm going to spare you that right now. But what I want to do right now is really go over questions on what you guys struggle with routine-wise. So if anybody has any questions or what you're struggling with or how to actually incorporate what we talked about, or if you find yourself in a bind, like, my kid gets out of school at 3 o'clock every day. I don't want them going to aftercare. Bring them to your work. Pick them up and bring them to your work, right? Pick them up and go home and work. So who wants to start off with questions? I want this to be as engaging as possible. And I want everyone to walk away from this with at least one tip of advice that they can implement into their routine or a time management platform. Darren Kaplan, I'm calling you first. I see you with Total Mortgage.
What's up, my man? Thank you, and I appreciate everything you do here. I actually sent Aiden. He's a brand new loan officer. He's been with me since like 3 years now, but from high school. Wow. So he graduated high school, got right into mortgages here, and this is where he's at. But
what's up, Aiden?
Hey, what's up?
Listen, you got a good guy with DK in your corner. So just look, I know you'd rather probably DK Metcalf. He's got bigger muscles, but Darren Kaplan DK will do.
I'll take it.
One thing, implementing on a day-to-day basis, like you said, your time, that's the most important thing, but consistency. When you wake up and you brush your teeth every day, you take a shower, you get dressed, and then you eat breakfast and you have your coffee. Those are just signs of consistency. When you wake up at 10 one day and then 9 the other day and then 6 the other day, and then you don't brush your teeth till 1, like those aren't consistent behaviors. So if you could lock yourself in a consistent behavior, whether it's making 500 phone calls a day, whether it's meeting 3 new realtors a day, whatever your goal is on being consistent, it'll pan out no matter what at the end of the day.
Perfectly said. I couldn't agree more. Aiden, where do you struggle with early on, or what did you struggle with early on in your career with time management and then also creating a routine?
Where I struggled with the most was probably coming up.
You look like Baker Mayfield. Not to cut you off, I literally thought Baker Mayfield was on the phone. But go ahead.
No, what I probably struggled with.
That's a compliment.
The most. Yeah, I'll take it. What I struggle with the most, I would have to say, is kind of setting pretty much a day-to-day like to-do list that I want to accomplish like throughout the day while I'm working, while I'm on the phone. What it is that who I want to, target first, if it's, some past clients, or if it's some new, workings or waiting for docs, whatever the case is. I feel like organizing what I want to, accomplish on a day-to-day basis is where I struggle the most.
I am a big believer, like I said, in to-do lists. I write down everything I have to do for everything. And like, I literally sit here and say, all right, what can I check off right now? What can I check off in 5 minutes or less? And then I'll do that, you know? And I think people need to get more inclined to do that. To keep it in here, it gets jammed up. Put it on the paper, you're able to see it. And at the end of the day, you're able to see the strike lines through what you've accomplished. Otherwise, if you keep it in your mind and you have a full tank, you're like, shit, I didn't accomplish anything. But if you look at a piece of paper and you have 50 things on there, even if one thing is checked off, you're able to physically and visually see something's been accomplished. So I think that's crucial in success early on. I would 100% agree with you.
You know, and just to add to that, right, what our company does every single morning, regardless, Saturday or Sunday, they send us a to-do list every single morning. So it gives us like a quick list of like, oh shit, I forgot to call that guy, or I missed that one. Oh yeah. And it's just like an automatic, like, this is what you do every morning when you wake up.
Love it. Melanie, I got to call you out for being here for the first time with that smile. I want to hear from you. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I am I'm a branch manager with Nexa Mortgage, and
Where are you based
I
out of?
have Georgia.
Oh, nice.
Georgia.
Like
So
by the ATL or no?
yeah, actually,
Okay.
I'm probably about 15-20 minutes away.
All right. All right.
So I was a processor for probably 13-14 years. And then I decided to switch over to the loan officer role. So I've been doing this for about 2.5 years. But I find that being organized is just like, you have to be. And so I got to a point where I was running around and not having any organization. And I think with the pandemic going on, you know, you're at home for a year, and which is crazy. And then, so now I said, I got to get out this house. I just have to. So I got a branch, and now I'm like, okay, what do I do next? And so I just have to get organized. So I think, I don't even know where I found you at. I don't have no clue. But I'm here today.
I manifested you. You didn't manifest
well,
me.
good. We manifested each other, because
Perfect.
you gave me a whole bunch of tips that I can use, you know, for my day-to-day activity, like making a to-do list. I would make a to-do list, but I would never finish it, and then the next day I would be doing something else, and I would forget, you know. So it's just about maintaining and just always sticking to it.
Do you want to hear something funny? Not to cut you off. So you see this wall behind me, right?
Yeah.
This wall. The rest of this room, as you can see, is this color right here, right? I had to paint this wall because I got so angry one day that I kept losing notebooks, papers, pages. I kept losing track. I started writing on my wall in permanent marker. But here's why I tell you that. Now, you can get a whiteboard, obviously. I have multiple whiteboards all over this room, okay? But I find like your most important tasks, your goals, your accomplishments, all this stuff, you need to put that on something you can't erase, you can't lose, that has to be here, right? So if you write 10 things down on the wall behind you in permanent marker, you're going to be upset if you don't accomplish those or cross
Yo,
those
Aiden,
off.
I want to see that wall fill the marker. That whole wall better be like
But
this.
here's the great thing, right?
Bubbles.
You always have the ability to put a fresh coat over it, you know? So like, yeah, I have my to-do list. I have, 15, 18, 27 things I have to do, like right when we get off this call, including whatever's, coming in that I'm not even responding to, text, emails, messages, private messages, posts, marketing stuff, right? But figure out what you want most. Meaning, is your goal to get 2 more loan officers to your branch? That needs to be prioritized. Is your goal to make $100,000 more this year than last year in what we call a declining market, a rising interest rate environment, all of these external, I call them noise factors that really don't matter at the end of the day, right? Figure out what your top 2 goals are. Again, like I'm just giving an example. If your number 1 goal is to become as physically fit as possible and you want to be in the gym, that's your goal. That's your non-negotiable. If you want 2 loan officers to bring in an extra $10 million of business to your branch so you could offset your expenses, have a rewarding coaching, mentor, leadership role, focus on those 2 things, and the majority of the allocation of your time needs to be to those 2 things.
Okay, gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. This has been very helpful.
I'm
Very.
so happy you joined us for the first day. I
Me
was so excited to
too.
see you. So like new names make me really excited because like it gives
Okay.
me an opportunity to have a new relationship. And I'm like
That's great.
probably the number one relationship person in the world. You know, I just love people and I love helping people and I love like kicking ideas back and forth. And if I can provide you any type of value or information, like feel free to reach out because we're all in this together. For some
Yes.
reason, this industry works oppositely, like everyone's an enemy. I
Mhm.
believe it should be everyone should be a team. We're all in the same world and we all experience the same struggles and problems. So why not share experiences and stories with everybody? Because you never know who's going to succeed and or where you guys do business down the road.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Jeff. I definitely appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on. Hopefully you'll be here next Wednesday at noon too.
All right. Send the email.
Come on, consistency, Melanie. Let's go.
I'll be on it. All right.
Hey, John Taylor. Actually, his name's Derek, but he goes by John Taylor. What do you got for me today? Cameras off, mutes off. You're probably taking a nap, I believe, huh? Who do we have? Who else can we call on here? Eduardo, Max, Bill, Laura.
Yeah, how we doing? Go ahead,
Eduardo, how
I'll
are
jump
you?
on. Is he gonna go? Want me to go?
You guys can duke it out. Whoever wants to go first. You guys are both going to go. Just figure out who wants to go first.
Gotcha. I'll jump on. What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, everyone?
What's up, brother? Everything good?
Yes. This set the skeleton thing was huge for me, just because like I have the hit list thing. My office right now is filled with the whiteboards and everything like that. But what I've been dealing with is just kind of, and I guess a good problem to have, just the influx of leads and referral partners that I'm meeting and trying to handle all that. My former assistant left the company like 3 weeks ago. So I'm like in transition with the new LOA and trying to figure all that out. But
you're under siege. If everyone doesn't know, Max is a veteran. So when I say under siege, I don't actually mean at war, but this is now career war. So Max, you've already been in the trenches. You're going to get through it. Just buckle down on what you need to do. You know what you need to do.
Yeah, just like I said, this set the skeleton thing. I'm probably going to have a completely separate whiteboard and just have a set the skeleton and, dedicated to that at this point, just because that's a golden one for me that I never really took advantage of as far as using.
You want to actually know where I got that from? So as you know, my son is, in my pocket and hip every day almost. And
Yeah.
He's sitting here, I'm making the presentation and he's busting my chops with this toy skeleton, right? And I'm like, dude, get this skeleton out of here. Like, I'm trying to get this done. And I'm like, oh my God, he just gave me my content. So that's where I got that from. I just made that up yesterday.
Yeah. And then I recently, as far as like the non-negotiables, that's something that I kind of brought into the new year. I've always been doing the gym. I added boxing twice a week. I added Brazilian jiu-jitsu once a week. So just kind of making that. And like you said, it's in the middle of the day. I'm going to go right after this, 1 o'clock, and I'll be there until 2 o'clock and back at it as soon as I get back.
I'm going to tell you, and I'm proud of you for that great implementation. I'm going to tell every single person on this call that watches this, I 100% guarantee you can kill yourself for 60 hours a week. If you know on a Monday at 3 p.m., you're sitting in the middle of, I'm gonna give you an example, Central Park, or you're sitting at an ice cream shop all by yourself, licking your ice cream, right? Or you're climbing a mountain, whatever you do that you love to do. If you're doing that between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. during the workday, when everyone else is working, pissed off and miserable, locked in behind a desk, you are going to experience freedom like you've never felt before. And I encourage everybody, right after this call ends, which whenever it ends, okay? I want you to turn off this video and go do something that you usually wait for the weekend to do. I don't care if you go and get an ice cream sundae. I don't care, all right? I don't care if you walk to your, high school track, if you ran track, and go run that 400, because you have the freedom to do that. The problem is we put so much pressure on ourselves that we box ourselves into, here's what we have to do. And if we don't do this, we're going to fail. Meanwhile, your pipeline's not growing. Your leads aren't coming in. You're not closing more deals. You're not making more money. And all you hear is interest rates are rising. So if you want happiness, you need to create that happiness by creating freedom for yourself and doing what you want to do when you want to do it. And conversely, you're going to have to do shit you don't want to do when you don't want to do it, but make up for it by doing what you want to do when you don't want to do it. So go out there and just have fun and make freedom. And
So
again,
true.
like make memories, like create experiences for yourself that offset all of the hard work that you guys put in. This job is not easy, but if you don't take it upon yourself to make enjoyment for 30 minutes or an hour, then you're screwed. Laura, yes, we will get this recording. I'm so happy. I might have to trademark that skeleton concept. But Laura, I want you to hop on here and tell us, what you experienced. How can we help you? What are you struggling with right now? How can this group really be your support system?
Jeff, I just love the different ideas and brainstorming that this platform provides. I think everybody's kind of in the same boat with generating leads and time management. They're doing things that are a little outside the box, getting a little creative. So, it's great to, fellow pain. I don't know. But I do feel like every Wednesday I come away with something
that's the goal of this. Again, like I think, I realize this because I felt like I was all by myself for like the majority of my career. And there are times where I still feel like that. And I'm like, why don't we just get it out in the open? Like if we put more minds together, I'm huge on masterminds. And for anyone that hasn't read the book, 48 Laws of Power, please immediately download the audiobook, buy the book, 48 Laws of Power. Like the mastermind is a real thing, right? So like, Laura, that's like what this is for. I think we can all build and look, I want nothing more than every single person on these calls to do business with each other. If Melanie's in Georgia and you're in North Carolina and you guys aren't each licensed, your company's not licensed, send deals back and forth, make money together. Like that's how this business should be.
Such a cool, you know what, Jeff? And it's so great. I just moved to South Carolina, so I'm not even that far from you, Melanie. I'm like over the border. I'm in the Midlands,
That's
Oh,
cool.
Darren.
That's cool, Darren.
And I'm in North Carolina. So
Oh, boom, there you go.
Oh,
Look at that.
yeah.
Like right in the middle.
So this
I'm like the
platform
same.
really does provide a great opportunity for networking and
Yes.
brainstorming and just, because we are all in this together. I mean, what I'm experiencing versus what Melanie may be experiencing isn't all that much different. So, I think as we come together, we can come up with some different ideas that sets us apart and it allows us to be more successful in our own individual situations.
Yeah,
Connecting on
and
social
anything,
media
again,
is
like
probably
this,
the biggest thing we could do though, to start.
and again, like this is like what I say, like freedom. Like, look, I know everyone's busy, and if anyone doesn't know the why of Zoom at noon and where it came from, I'll reshare it, but I also share it, on I think the first YouTube video that we did on this, channel. And it's like, it's easy getting fired up and excited to work Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, and then by the time Tuesday, Wednesday comes, you're like, oh, is it the weekend yet? Is it the weekend yet? So like the purpose of Zoom at noon is this is halftime for the week. Let's reinvigorate each other to come and finish the work week, even though our work week is like a work like decade, right? We don't have a week. Finish the week out strong through Friday. So that way you feel equally as rejuvenated and accomplished, right? You might think one thing now where you're like, shit, I just lost a loan. Shit, rates went up today. Shit, the market's off 1,000 points. Whatever you want to tell yourself. But like this needs to bring everyone back to reality of, wait, no. All this noise and negativity out there is bullshit. You're never going to hear any negativity on this call. And if there's a problem, we're going to solve that problem together. And that's what this Zoom at noon is about. And again, like, how we don't have hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people on here, but fine. You know why? This is our select crew. This is our group, and this is what we're going to do. And a year from now, we're all going to be doubling, tripling, quadrupling our business, doing a better business with a better quality of life, while they're all wondering, hey, how do we find answers to our problems?
Exactly. Very well said, Jeff.
Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Mr. Mateo, I want to hear from you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you located? How can we help you?
Hello. My name is Eduardo Mateo from Pennsylvania, Lehigh Valley, specifically. Loan officer. This is going into my third year. Something I think that I struggle with is like focusing on what's hot and what's not, right? Because everything can't be hot. Like every item that comes in can't be like has to be done right now or shit's gonna hit the fan. So really focusing on, really what needs to be done now and what can wait a little bit is something that I need to be better at myself.
I think we're all guilty of that. And I think only experience and knowing your referral sources and getting more experience and volume under your belt allows you to diagnose from a psychological standpoint your consumer or your person that's making the ask of what's hot, right? Like if you get a call at 8 o'clock tonight, hey, I had this deal, lender just dropped the ball, but we're not closing until March. Yeah, it's urgent, but it can wait till tomorrow, right? But it's like, shit, we have to close February 4th. The deal just died. If we don't close, we're already past extension. The seller can legally keep the deposit. Hey, you better get your firefighter outfit on, put this fire out and run DU and take all the information and get an approval tonight, ask for the appraisal, transfer request and everything else. That's urgent, right? But Sunday, 3 p.m., where highest and best offers are going in on Tuesday, that can wait till tomorrow. And if your referral source can't respect or understand that or manage their own time, that's their problem. But you have to make that judgment call on your own end of what's hot versus what's not. And Max, I'm going to give you homework for next week's call. Every time someone makes a great point, like Eduardo just made, like, what's hot, what's not, I want you to come up with like a kaboom sign or a sound, so in that way everyone takes a mental note of that. You can even come up with your own like little deposit that anthem, but I want that to be known because that's a very important topic. And again, I think everyone struggles with what has to be done immediately. How does my life get disrupted immediately versus what can wait until an hour or 2 hours or even tomorrow.
Totally true.
Eduardo, what do you do now to walk us through your brain of how you deem what's hot versus what's not in today's current world?
Right. I mean, if I'm being honest, as a LO,
well, we're only honest here, just so you know. So you can't be anything but honest.
You're right. So I mean, I'm not producing the amount of loans that I want to do, right? So I'm in my head like, I have to do everything now because I don't want these customers to go anywhere else. I don't want these agents to send their deals anywhere else. So I think I have to set up some safeguards or, respect my time where like when I'm working and handling shit now, handle it. And then when I'm doing something else, like I'm not logged on my phone or, like I'm mentally checked in at work when I'm not, should be doing something else.
Let me ask you a couple questions, and goes directly to what we're speaking about, but we're gonna get personal. What are you currently originating monthly, and what do you want to be originating monthly?
So currently I'm doing like 5 to 7 loans a month.
Okay, that's great. That's very respectable.
A month. My goal, again, this is what I want to do, is 33 loans a month because that's my favorite number. So 33 loans a month is something that I want to hit. Now, it can be done because I see other lenders doing it. So I know it can. I just have to get more at bats, right? I need to do more marketing, meet more agents, the things that are going to produce the quality leads that I needed to take in to hit those numbers.
So what I think you need to do, and you're right, it is a numbers game. So what you can start doing is, and I don't know if you do this now, you can make an Excel file, and on the first column, put leads, on the second column, put originations, and on the third column, put closings, right? And these numbers are very scary. So if everyone does this, I highly recommend it. You need to figure out how many at-bats you need to get, or how many leads you need to get in order to generate how many originations you need to get, and then in order to generate or officially close how many deals. So if you get 100 leads, that might turn into 20 originations, might turn into 12 closings. So if you want to do 6 times the amount of business you're currently doing, your number one goal should be get 600 leads as soon as possible, because that will then turn into 120 originations, right? Which then will turn into 72 closings. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, I have in my head, it's like 3 applications a day, right? Like I need to get 3 applications a day.
My man, that puts you over 1,000 applications for the year.
Right. So like, I mean, again, if I'm hitting those numbers, then I have to fall somewhere between.
Are you buying leads, or what's your model?
No, right now I'm just following up on everything possible, right? Like
stop doing that.
Damn. Stop
following up.
Okay, so you're saying when when the agent sends you a lead, call them and then don't follow up at all?
Call them, issue the pre-approval. If you can get it pre-approved, great. If not, send them a reminder. Hey, let me know when your time is to speak. Put it on them. Maybe you get a Calendly link. Maybe you set up your own CRM. You need to automate your follow-up process, or you need to perfect your initial interaction to leave a lasting impression where they know you're the go-to source and you're either going to sell them or lose them on the first interaction. It's how I've done my business since the day I started in this. Do I periodically follow up with people at a genuine interest? Yes. Do I follow up with anybody more than once? Never.
I find
You know
follow-up
why?
builds rapport, so like, I think everybody's got a different mentality in each lead. Like every lead doesn't need to be followed up every day, but definitely get your tech down, man, because that will let you do volume. It'll give you the opportunity, instead of calling 50 people a day, to reach 500 people a day, and not all by calls.
I agree. And you know what I even do, and what I recommend, Eduardo, is every single person you meet, friend them on LinkedIn, ask them to be friends on Facebook, give them your Instagram, tell them to follow your Instagram because now they're following you. Now you don't have to follow up with them. All you have to do is post, and you're automatically educating them and staying in front of their mind. And the more aggressive you are at posting, the more they're going to see you, the less likely they are to forget about you. Now, if they delete you, good, you didn't want to deal with them anyway.
No, that's good shit right there.
We utilize Salesforce here, and it totally, like I said, from the minute I walk in, it aligns your day. It tells you who to call, and every one of those people are getting text, emails. That's the technology we need to utilize today, especially to build your business and compound your business and do real volume, like real volume.
And Eduardo, just so you know, and look, here's what I'll tell you. Two things. Max, if you had that little deposit that or kaboom thing right now, one, sometimes less is more. And also, right now, in the way this market is, with the way the consumer is, you want quality over quantity.
Right.
Sound good?
100%. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome. Hopefully we'll see you here next Wednesday. Derek, you want to go? I see you took yourself, I don't know, you still here? Derek, AKA John Taylor? Man, you are a tough cookie. Different names, hiding behind an alias. You're like Bruce Wayne. All right, so since Derek's he's still sleeping on the job, does anybody else want to ask another question or get into anything before we close this up? I know today was super efficient. Everyone, new faces, welcome. Hope you guys saw some value in this. Feel free to ask questions. I'm always looking for, what next week's topic is going to be. I think next week, might be how to discuss, rising interest rates. It could be content creation, depending on what the Fed decision is in a little bit, maybe it'll be about that. It could just be about, again, like quality over quantity, or sometimes it's quantity over quantity, depending on your business model. We can get into loan pricing, how to pick whether you become a broker or a banker, how we incorporate non-QM, how we do, fix and flip ground up construction loans, how we implement that into our business and arsenal of what we offer our referral sources. Does anyone want to share maybe what next week's topic they might be interested in? Does anyone have any ideas or any pressing issues?
I'd love to hear problem files, because I'm like the magician and the mechanic back here, and I'd
Problem
love
files.
real problems that people have that we can either overcome, or as a group, or I usually try to attack a problem file from the back forward instead of forward to back.
Well, not to get into that real quick, but I'll give you an example. I got a loan officer who referred me to another loan officer who was hell bent on this deal doesn't qualify and it's only non-QM. Sent me the deal Friday morning. So a lady owns a house, no mortgage on it, and she's buying an investment property. Long story short, by 4 p.m. on Friday, I had a conventional cash out refinance disclosed with a purchase money investment conventional mortgage disclosed. And all I had her do was file her 2021 tax returns on Monday, the 24th, which she had to do anyway. Right. So she went from getting a 6.5% to 7% rate, paying all these crazy points and fees, right, to like now she's under 5% on both 30-year fixed rate mortgages, right? And that came from.
Plus, it's way easier to get done too, right?
And I got an appraisal waiver on her refinance, So like this loan officer didn't know what he was doing, so he called his other loan officer, who was a respectable guy, And he was like, oh, I don't do non-QM. I send Jeff all my non-QM deals. And in 5 minutes, like I took the deal and structured it. And now I have another $500,000 in loans in, right? And I tell you that because there are a lot of loan officers that are entering the business that don't know anything. So I actually look at that as a problem for the market and the consumer, yes, but selfishly, because I've taken the time to become an expert and I know how to structure loans, I actually love fallout from other lenders because it gives us the opportunity to look like a hero. So, forget about all the noise and the inexperience entering the marketplace, become the expert to then become the hero. And that's how you make a name for yourself. That's how you make a career for yourself. That's how you become ultimately successful and have great referral partners.
Jeff, just to add to that, right? My NMLS number is 4232. I got 4 digits, right? So already I've been around a long time. But you wanna be VIP in the mortgage industry, always get the VOE. VIP equals VOE. And if you do the VOE up front, it gains you access to the VIP between processing, underwriting, your closing. If you have an issue, if you have a problem, always remember the VOE is the VIP.
Awesome, my friend. Appreciate it. Melanie, thanks so much for joining again. Appreciate you. If you have anything, do you have anything like next week, like next upcoming topics wise that we want to like deeper dive into?
No, I think that I'll be here Wednesday because I do have actually a file that I'm doing now. So it'll be a good topic for next week.
Well, if it's urgent, you don't want to wait, you have my email me. I'm happy to walk you through that or give you some tips or tell me what you're struggling with. If you want to go over it now, feel free to share like what the struggles are now and the group can intervene. Again, we're all in this together. So me personally, if I have a problem now, the last thing I want to do is mentally think about a problem and wait a week. Up to you, right. No pressure, No,
it's a cash out refi.
Okay.
She currently has, it's an FHA, and she currently has a 2.75 interest rate. Okay, she wants to refinance, but of course, I want to get rid of it.
Home equity line of credit.
Her a home equity. So I thought about that. I did think about that. So I've told you I've only been doing this for a couple years. So home equity line of credit, how would I explain that? Because with the home equity line of credit, I think they wanted like 8% or 9%. Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how to structure it to where I can present it to her for her to understand that it's a benefit to do it.
What's she using the money for?
Say that again.
Darren asked what she's using the money for.
She wants to pay off some debt and do renovations to her home.
So here's what I would say real quick, right? So I refer anywhere from 50 to 100 home equity line of credits to M&T Bank for the past 10 years. They're the only bank I've ever referred business to. Mm-hmm. You can legally charge your client a consulting fee to help facilitate it. Like, hey, I'm going to charge you. So it depends on the client. I charge anywhere from $250. To be honest with you, most of them I do for free because they're my clients, right? And I want them to keep coming back to me. But I charge anywhere from $250 up front, or 1% when the home equity line of credit closes. I make the judgment call, again, based on what I think my time is worth, right? If I know the client's sophisticated and savvy, I don't have to explain it to them, and they trust me, I send them the application for free. They fill it out. I review it. I send it to M&T. I contact the M&T, CC the client, and I'm out. Let me know when it closes. I wish you the best of luck, right? Or if they're not sophisticated, if there's going to be problems, and all those problematic clients, I charge a fee because my time is worth something, okay?
Right.
M&T goes up to a 90% cumulative loan to value, okay? So in this instance, for example, what do you believe your client's home is worth?
$340,000.
So $340,000 minus 10% gives you a maximum of $306,000 of what they'll go up to. Now, how much is their first mortgage balance right now?
$177,000.
So subtract $177,000 from 306, it gives you $129,000. So if it qualifies, you got to get the M&T will order the appraisal and everything. M&T Bank will give them $129,000 up to $129,000 as a line of credit, as a home equity line of credit recorded as a second mortgage lien on their property at a 4% or under interest-only rate. Now, you tell me if your client will ever go anywhere else if you help them secure $129,000 with total closing costs under $2,000 at a 4% interest-only rate.
No, but can I, as a broker, do that though?
So you don't charge a broker fee, you charge a legal consulting fee. So,
Okay.
dear Melanie, I understand you want to do a home equity line of credit. You're applying for $129,000. Here's what I'm gonna do for you. It's a $250 upfront consultation fee. They could Zelle it to you, PayPal you, Venmo you, whatever. You have a one-page fee agreement stipulating of what your services are. I'm going to help you facilitate a home equity line of credit with M&T Bank. Here is my fee. The fee is not based on which name of what company you said, Nexa?
Mhm.
Sorry. This is completely independent of Nexa. This is something that I do exclusively for my clients. I could legally charge you as much as I want. I'm only going to charge you $250 to help you prepare your documents.
Okay, and so where do I get like the contract from? Like, how do I, because I've never done this before, so where do I understand the concept of what you're saying.
You would just draft it just to protect yourself. Me personally,
Okay.
I don't draft any contract. I'm like, look, if you want me to do this, here's what I charge. See you
Okay.
later, Eduardo. Because again, this is like, you're not brokering the deal. You're truly working as a consultant advisor, which you could legally be
Right.
able to do.
Right, gotcha. Okay. Okay.
So if you want, just send me an email reminder and I'll email you over my contact at M&T and their application. And then
Okay.
you run with it. You might be better off doing the first one just so you can see how it works for free and just like helping your client out.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, it's an absolute no-brainer,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because she wants to refinance and it's not making any sense to me for her to do it, but
It wouldn't make sense.
she
Well, it
wants the
wouldn't
money.
make sense. Plus, again, if you do it, even if you do FHA, you're going to be capped and you're going to be shortchanging her $34,000. You're going to a higher rate, probably higher than 3.5% anyway, and you still have
Yeah.
PMI, right? So it doesn't make sense. But the way you sell it to her is, hey, the market's going to keep going up. You have this interest-only loan. You could use the line just like a credit card. And when rates drop back under 3%, then we could pay off your home equity line of credit and consolidate your mortgage into one mortgage like you have now. But you never want to lose a 2.75% rate.
No,
Ever.
not at all. Ever.
So
Don't
this
know
is the
when we're
best
gonna see that
strategy from a
again.
financial advice standpoint. Correct.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
rate's a tax deductible, every interest rate, don't matter if you got 3% or 10%, the worst thing you could ever do in life is pay interest on a credit card. And if you can make them understand that, I mean, that's really, you're better off taking them to a 15-year term, right? Adding up all the debt. Let's say the debt adds up to $500 a month, taking that money and applying it to principal at a higher rate, you'd be better off.
Yeah.
All that. That's
But
the way to do
I
that.
would do the home equity line of credit. Like I think I have like from Monday, I have 3 going to M&T just from Monday, because
Wow.
everyone's locked in at a rate under 3% and their house values keep going up and they didn't plan for that unnecessary expense and they didn't listen when I said cash out refinance because everyone knows everything. Now they need cash. Well, home equity line of credit's your option. Again, if you didn't listen to me a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago when I told you to cash out, yeah, you know what? I'm going to charge you a fee from a learning experience because you should have listened to me, right?
Right.
So
Absolutely.
where I would be making X amount of dollars, I'm making, a tenth of that, but I'm still charging you a fee because my time's worth something. And your banker that you went to, your mortgage guy, told you to do a cash out refinance to get a 4% rate. No. Keep your 2.5% rate. Get the home equity line of credit. Save $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on closing costs, and let's figure out the next strategy when we come up to that hurdle.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I'll definitely email. I have your email address.
It's just jeff@jeffvannote.com.
Okay. I have it here.
And Melanie, never wait a week to get an answer on a deal.
You're right.
I don't want to be right. I want you to have peace of mind and quality of life,
Yes.
Thinking about this for a week. Oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Right.
Hey,
Right.
Melanie, did you get any updates yet? No, not yet. Still working on it. Trust me, I've been there. I've delayed. I was the guy that kicked the can down the road as long as possible. But you want to put these fires out soon, get to a solution, and I guarantee you, you get this deal closed for this lady or man, whoever you're dealing with.
Mhm.
I guarantee they refer you other business.
Yeah.
Hey, Melanie, I have a client of mine who's looking to buy in Georgia. We're not licensed in Georgia. Do you want to? Could you help me out with that?
Absolutely.
All right. Do you
Let
want me
me-
to text you the information? Do you want me to email it to you? How do you want me to send it your way? Because I have an appointment with them later in the afternoon at like 5 o'clock, but there's nothing I can do because it's Georgia.
Okay, I'll put my information in the chat and
See, Melanie, you invested an hour and 10 minutes of your time, and you're about to make a couple grand
No.
off an hour.
Look
I'm
at
pretty sure your
God.
hourly rate just went up a little bit.
Yo, Jeff, where was this like 10 years ago, right?
Look at God,
Listen,
right?
I was too young 10 years ago. I was too busy trying to be number one.
True.
I didn't have
True.
time to do this 10 years ago.
You're
And so I
right.
don't think Zoom existed 10 years ago.
No, I know.
No,
but you know what I'm
I don't
saying,
think
right?
so
Like,
either.
Busting your chops.
it would have been very helpful, to have forums like this. Instead, we used to go to, what was it, the Grapevine back in the day? to
No, there
pull-
was no. You know what we did? We would go to our manager, and they would shoot us down, shoot our idea down, tell us to shut up and go make more money and get more deals, and do
Make
something
more
that doesn't
calls.
work.
Yeah.
Make more calls.
Go
Oh,
get
wow.
if you came from that environment. I was like, I'm not making calls, and I want to sit here in this office with you. So
Yeah.
Wow. Darren. Okay.
Melanie, I manifested you. You manifested yourself a free lead today. You see that?
Yes, look at that.
And you got your client a HELOC, home equity line of credit.
Absolutely.
Listen, if Zoom at Noon doesn't get the #1 testimonial from you, then I'm going to be pretty
they
upset.
will, absolutely. I don't even know how I got here. I'm just
Right,
like, oh my God. Okay.
sometimes it's best not to ask questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Well, I definitely appreciate it. Wrote down all my notes today, and it was
Love it.
very helpful.
If you guys can please, again, I think you guys all know or should know at this point, I'm like probably the most selfless person that exists out there. But if you guys can, share the Zoom at Noons on YouTube, comment on them if you liked it, what you don't like, ideas, topics. Like, I want to grow this thing as big as possible and help the most amount of people out. So if you guys have other loan officers, again, Darren, thanks for getting Aiden on here today. Aiden, hopefully you saw some value and experience. I'm glad you and Melanie worked that out. Tell Melanie where you're licensed. If she has somebody, I'm sure she'll be happy to refer you back.
Absolutely.
But yeah, like let's grow this thing, and I love everyone's involvement. Darren, thank you as always for joining. What you contribute, your support, your friendship. I appreciate all that. Melanie, welcome to the family, and everybody else,
Thank
guys. I hope you
you.
guys all find value. Laura, keep kicking butt in North Carolina down there, and hopefully we all get a chance to work together with each other one day.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
Jeff, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Nice meeting you guys.
Thank you. Nice meeting everyone.
You guys have a good day. Go kick butt.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.